Hey, Billy Bears. I am so glad to see you. How are you doing? This is Miss Slack with your weekly wellness, and this week I want to talk to you about coping skills. In fact, coping skills about what to do when you're feeling frustrated. So, before we get into today's lesson though, let's start with a fun question. Let's go to our choices in a jar. So let's see what our choice says. If you had to choose, go to school at 3 o'clock in the morning or at bedtime, what's your choice? Oh my goodness, 3 o'clock in the morning, that's really late. I'm already sleeping. Or at bedtime. We have been going to bed later lately. I don't know if I like those choices. I don't want to go stay up any later than I have to. Let's see, let's go to another choice. How about this one? Let's see. If you had to choose, have to always eat standing up or always sleep sitting up. Oh, what's your choice? What would you choose? Have to always eat standing up or have to always eat sitting up? What would you choose? That's a tough choice. I think I would choose have to always eat standing up. I'd rather do that because I like my sleep and I want to be comfortable sleeping. That would be hard to sleep sitting up. I don't know, maybe you could do it. We'll see. I'm curious what your choices are. So choices. You know, every day we get to make choices. And I said that today we're going to talk about coping skills, about what to do when we're feeling frustrated. So as a quick review, boys and girls, we have our little symbols up here to remind us to take some deep breaths. I went to my office today and I picked up a few things. One, because I wanted to read a story to you later, but two, I saw this little guy on my shelf and I was like, oh yes, I love this. I brought it home when my kids were so excited, like, oh Mom, I remember that. And some of you may remember this too, but I have this, it's not just a toy, it's called a Hoberman sphere, but what it is to remind us to take deep breaths. Try that with me. When we take a deep breath, that is a great way to help us to feel calm and to be able to stop and think so we can make good choices. So you don't have to have one of those to be able to take deep breaths. Sometimes we like to, or some of us come up with other ways of learning to take those deep breaths so we can make good choices. So today, we're going to do some things. I've got our little friend here, Mimi, sitting pretty happy. We're going to read a story. I've got our little puppet here. Maybe you still have yours. If you've made one of those, remember to smile. Take a deep breath. And relax. It's a great thing to do right before you're getting ready to learn. Think, I'm ready to learn. I'm ready to do this. Smile. Take a deep breath. You can do that. Just put your brain in the right mindset so you're ready to learn. So, I don't know about you, but at our house there have been some times when we've had a little bit of frustration. And I think that frustration can get magnified or made bigger when we're feeling a lot of anxiety. When we have some of those strong feelings inside of us, maybe you're feeling like this, maybe frustration or anxiety, that anxiety can cause our frustration to be even bigger, and it can cause us to say and do things that we wouldn't normally do. And so what we're going to do, I'm hoping that we can go from this to this today. That we can, instead of feeling frustrated, that we can work on ways to help us to feel calm and some coping skills. What can we do so that we can feel calm? And so I went up to the school today because I really wanted to be able to get this book. I had some things in my office that I've been missing, and so thankfully it was one of those few days where I was able to get in. And so this is a story called Beautiful Oops. So I'm going to read to you the story, and notice that in here, not everything's perfect. That sometimes we think that things have to turn out a certain way, or we think that things have to be a certain way in order for it to be just right. Maybe we think, oh, we should have been back at school by now, or oh, this schoolwork isn't like what I thought it was gonna be, or oh, I really wish that I was with my friends right now, or I wish I was playing baseball. Lots of things that we wish that they should be. But if we'll stop and think, we can turn that switch, if it's our perception, the way we think about things can help us to turn it around. And just like in the story, it's called A Beautiful Oops. So I want to challenge you today is look for the positives. Instead of just something being a disaster, think, what can I learn from this? What are the positives? So let's take a look at this book. Beautiful Oops by Barney Salzberg. Says, oops, a torn piece of paper is just the beginning. And every spill has lots and lots of possibilities. I love that. I have to look beyond what we see. Bent paper. Even something as simple as bent paper, look, can be turned into something to celebrate. A little drip of paint. Let your imagination run wild. That's pretty cool. A scrap of paper. I wonder what that could be. Aww. Can be fun to play with. See, you can make a scrap of paper into anything. Who would have thought? A smudge and a smear. Oh, can make magic appear. A stain. Oh, probably saw these before. Has potential if you play with its shape. And holes in your paper are worth exploring. Pretty cool. When you think you have made a mistake, oops, think of it as an opportunity to make something. This is my favorite part. Beautiful. Looky there, even a wadded up piece of paper. So, a beautiful oops. So in this book, it talked about some neat things that might otherwise just look like, you know what, that's just like a scrap of paper. How could that be anything? Well, something can be turned into nothing. And a great way to be able to move out of that frustration is trying something new. You say, what was like, if I'm frustrated, why would I want to try something new? Well, what I really mean is get out your crayons, get out your markers, try doing some crafts. The other day, my son, he had an assignment where he was supposed to draw a bald eagle. And so we worked on this together. It was a little YouTube video that we watched. And his class, they were learning about symbols, I think, symbols for different, symbols of the United States. And so we had this little video. He was drawing a bald eagle, and then I was drawing one. And so this was my drawing. And now this was step by step. I don't think I could have drawn this if I hadn't have, followed those instructions. But it was a little frustrating as we were doing that. And he got a little frustrated doing his too, because it didn't look exactly like the artist, how his looked. And it got a little frustrating. And when I looked at mine, I looked at the artist, I was like, mine doesn't look exactly the way I think that it should. And then my little boy, he was feeling frustrated because he was looking at his, he looked at mine, he looked at that one. He was like, oh, I said, that's okay. We're trying something new, we're learning something. And when we try something new, when we learn something new, we learn to kind of work through some of those frustrations. So I think getting out the crayons and markers is a great way to be able to move through some of those strong feelings that we might have. That I know as we were working on this, it definitely gave us a chance to stop and think like, wait, okay, how can I make this better? That it doesn't have to be perfect. And that's something that I want to stress, boys and girls, is that as we are learning, that there's a difference between learning goals and achievement goals. Learning goals like, okay, we're learning how to ride a bike, or we're learning how to bake, we're learning math, we're learning reading. And then achievement goals, those are things like, oh, I scored a 90%, or I got a B+, or I'm on level 10. Achievement goals, those are nice. That kind of tells us where we're at. But what is most important is the learning goal. Think, am I learning? Yes. We may not always be perfect. We may not always get everything done on our checklist that we need to do. But are we better than we were before? That's what learning goals are. And boys and girls, a coping skill to help us move out of that frustration is to think, well, am I learning something? Am I trying something new? Something else we can do is to try to look at something beyond just what it should be or what you think it should be. I found this neat little journal. It's called my Oops Space Journal. And parents, if you want to help your little one go online, it's from biglifejournal.com. So biglifejournal.com. So biglifejournal.com. And they have this on there for free where you can print this out. And I thought this is neat because they're two totally different people, but it goes along with this story, Beautiful Oops. And in the journal, there's a neat here's gonna be our activity that we're gonna do this week. It says, turn the ink stains into something else. So you may not have that, but I want you to find a sheet of paper. Excuse me. Find a sheet of paper and then just make an organic shape. There we go. So this is an organic shape. It doesn't have any, it's not a geometric shape. It doesn't have straight sides. So organic shape is, there we go. And then I get to turn that into something else. I think, what could that be? Now, when I do this, I had no idea, but as I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, you know what? I think this is going to be, there we go. There's going to be its mouth. Marker on. Let's see, this is its eye, and there's an eye there. And let's see. Oh, no, I think we're going to use orange. Yeah, here we go. And oh, there we go. And I'm going to add a wing. Okay. I thought maybe I was doing a dinosaur, but maybe this is going to look more like not a butterfly, a bird maybe? Okay, there we go. So I took my oops and I turned it into something else. So let's see what you can do, boys and girls. You might find a beautiful oops. Now, what would be really cool is if you could find, I love this one in here. Where was it? It was the stain. Because I saw that happen lots of times around our house. Like with a coffee cup or with a, well, what's in here? Oh, yeah, this one. Okay. Yeah. So, you maybe you saw like a little stain like that on a sheet of paper. Or you could even make one. Get a glass, set it down on it, make it wet, and then set it on a piece of paper, make it into something. And remind yourself that this is a beautiful oops. That I have a beautiful oops. That even though maybe it didn't start out what I planned, I can look for the positives in it. That it doesn't have to be Hey, it doesn't have to be just how I planned. That's all right. Things happen. And parents, let me tell you something. Here, if you want to look for another way to help your kids out, when your kids see you make a mistake, how do they see you respond? Because kids learn from us. There's a saying that says more is caught than what is taught. In other words, they're watching. So I had some muffins the other day. Now this one happens to be a better muffin, but what I like to do at our house is when the bananas start to turn really brown, they look kind of gross, we turn them into banana muffins. And so the other day, we had a bunch of muffins. I thought, oh no, I've got to do something with these before we start getting gnats everywhere. So I made 3 batches of banana bread, turned one of them into muffins, one was in bread. I think I might put nuts in the other one, I forget. But by the time I got to the 3rd batch, I was kind of tired and I thought I knew the recipe, and so I'm adding stuff to it, get them in there, put them in the oven, take them out, and I thought, boy, what is wrong with that muffin? It didn't look brown like this. It looked a lot paler, and I thought, I don't know what's going on. I thought, well, I'm tired. I don't know. I'm gonna take it because I tapped it. I'm like, yeah, it's done. Turns out, you know what happened? I forgot to put the sugar in the muffin when I was making the mix, or mixing all up the flour and the cinnamon and all that. I forgot to put sugar in it. I was like, oh man, they look just like they're supposed to. And the neat thing was, this happened to be one of those moments where I'm like, yay, I didn't get upset, I didn't get frustrated about it. I was like, whoops, oh well, these really are sugar-free muffins. Maybe aside from the banana that was in there. So I think, kids can learn from the way that we handle things. Does that mean that as a parent, I'm always handling things perfect? No, I make mistakes. Mistakes are opportunities to learn. And kids, I want you to know, mistakes are opportunities to learn. We don't have to be perfect all the time. Sometimes things are not going to go the way we had planned. And guess what? It's okay. We're all in this together. And we're all going to work it out together, and look around. Look for the helpers. Is there somebody around to help you? We are here for you, boys and girls. If you need to get a hold of us at all, you can send Ms. Matas an email, send me an email, Ms. Slack. My email is Diane, D-I-A-N-E, .slack, S-L-A-C-K, at gccisd.net. So diane.slack@gccisd.net. Send me an email. I would love to, to help you. Parents, if you need anything at all, we are here for you. We are here to help, and we want to be a blessing to you. So before we go today, we've got one more game that I want to show you, and this one's an oldie but a goodie, and it's called I Spy. So if you haven't ever played I Spy, it goes like this. You say, I spy with my little eye something gray. And then the other person has to guess what it is, and they have to answer or ask you yes or no questions. They'll say, is it in this room? Is it close? Is it far? And so the other person's going to ask you yes or no questions until they guess it. And then once they guess it, then it's their turn to be the person that says, I spy with my little eye. So this is a great game that you can play in the house. You can play it if you get to go for a drive. This is a great game to play there. It doesn't require anything. It's just a fun way to be together. And that's what I want to encourage you, boys and girls, is to be together. Spend time with your family. Enjoy being together. We look forward to getting to see you sometime, boys and girls, and we are thinking so much about you. Our hearts are with you. We cannot wait to be able to see your sweet smiling faces. And before I go, there's one little quote I want to read with you, and this came from it says from Edwin Elliott. It says, by being yourself, you put something wonderful in the world that was not there before. By being yourself, you put something wonderful in the world that was not there before. I love that. And boys and girls, we care so much about you. I hope you're doing well. Talk to you soon.